Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. I should say welcome to a very special week of Fantasy Football Fever because we got not today. We got don't have two, we got three shows coming up this week. We have our show tonight that we're doing. We're coming to you on Thursday night with our postseason and Super Bowl predictions. And then, of course, on Saturday night, we have league draft night. So this is going to be a very busy week for us. Hopefully, you'll be able to spend some time with us this week, especially right now for tonight's show. Of course, I'm Tim McClellan, of course, joined by my buddies, the host of Hooked on Sports, John Flynn, and our league commissioner, John Natali. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Yeah,
I'm doing great.
doing great. Yeah,
We're fired up. It's with now full steam ahead. Because
yeah,
now the calendar is turned into the Burr months.
Yes,
yeah.
welcome to September, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
September 1st. It is September 1st, 2026.
Hey, Alex.
And there's Alex, A Pistol 90. I
Yeah.
should let y'all know right now, a little programming note. Pain and Game Pick'ems coming back starting tomorrow night, Wednesday. We're going to be giving the postseason and Super Bowl predictions. And then, of course, next Tuesday night, it's our week one preview, our Fantasy Football Fever Pain and Game crossover show. So that'll be 10:45 Eastern, 9:45 Central. So you'll have more of us guys to deal with. You'll have me, you'll have Lynn, you'll have Natalia, you'll have Lucas, you'll have Alex, and whoever wants to jump on. But it's going to be great. But tonight, there's a lot of you out there who have already had your official fantasy drafts. There's some of you who haven't done your drafts yet, but you're doing mock drafts. And of course, we have our draft this Saturday night. So it's just so in just a little while from now, we're going to be giving you some fantasy strategies based on what we learned after the 2025 season. If you haven't seen that, just go back into the archives of this channel and go ahead. You can take a look and see what we got there. But before we do all that, we got a good bit of ground to cover with the hot topics and probably the biggest one of the biggest hot topics from this past week. Has to do with Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs. He has been placed on the commissioner exempt list for two misdemeanors, which stems from an alleged incident with a woman back in May. He has a court date set for November 17th of this year.
Ooh.
So yeah, yeah, I could say we could say here we that's a bit of legal news right there. So let me get I gotta put the sounder here. If it's legal news, then it's this here. So so Flynn, Josh Jacobs, he looks like he might be suspended. So a little bit of trouble for the Packers on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, and it probably threw a lot of Josh Jacobs owners and a lot of potential people who were drafting Josh Jacobs or trying to go for Marshawn Lloyd this week for a bit of a loop. That a lot of draft strategies were changed this week because of this news. So now you're looking at Marshawn Lloyd, who was the Packers' third round pick out of USC in 2024. He hasn't really he's been a little dinged up with injuries the last couple of years. But assuming all is well, he is now slated to be the lead running back for the Packers when they take on the Minnesota Vikings in front of Jim Nance, J.J. Watt, and Tracy Wolfson on September 13th. So you have that for something. So now, Marshawn Lloyd. Speaking of Marshawn Lloyd, he is now gone from RB 30, RB 40, all the way up to to the mid to late 20s. So he's now a pretty solid option for an RB 3 if you have if you have a three running back league setting. And you look at something like that. Now, the thing that I found most appealing, and I actually found this earlier today, was that in 2023 when Marshawn Lloyd was with USC, so that he led all FBS running backs that year, in yards after catch and yards after contact per catch. So I think if this is going to be a more of a passing offense, which I believe it's going to be now, because now I think there's going to be more on the shoulders of Jordan Love based upon how indispensable Josh Jacobs has been, because he signed the big contract with Green Bay prior to the start of 24, and now you're looking at them having to throw the ball a little bit more. So I think Jordan Love's stock went up a little bit. I think Christian Watson's draft stock went up a little bit because I think it's going to be more of having to throw the ball to give to win the game, which I don't know, which I don't think Matt LaFleur is comfortable with Love, but based upon what happened in the playoff games each of the last 2 years in Philly and in Chicago, how those games transpired. So yeah, it's going to be also a lot of big impacts with the Packers offense and for fantasy purposes because of this news that dropped today on Sunday.
Yeah, so Commissioner Exemplis, basically, he is not on the 53-man roster for the Packers.
And I know the Packers Matt LaFleur talked to the press this week on the Josh Jacobs matter, and he says that he's hoping to have Josh Jacobs play at some point this season. But if the video evidence comes out, now we haven't seen the actual video evidence yet. There have been some rumors spreading that the video was actually released. That's actually not true. But if the video evidence is as bad as it seems, I think that's the end of Josh Jacobs in Green Bay.
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like it. We'll just see. We'll see what the evidence shows, and he has his court case coming up on the 17th of November. We're definitely going to keep an eye on that. Oh, we have another kind of a legal based issue here.
Mm.
We have a offensive linebacker for the Broncos, Jonathan Cooper. He too was placed on the commissioner's exempt list. Domestic violence charges back in June. This includes second-degree assault by strangulation and 3 other misdemeanors. And with a defense that Denver had last year, it's pretty good. So looks like there could be a suspension for Jonathan Cooper as well.
Ooh. It's a little bit of a blow to that middle of the defense there. Yeah, you definitely need all the linebacker help you can get. That's one of the most important positions on defense. They deal with all the tackling, a lot of the interceptions, rushing.
Right.
Yeah,
one of the most important positions.
honestly, but my concern level with the Broncos defense is with after that news is zero. They still have a great defensive line. They're still pretty deep on all 3 levels, and I think that's what's going to make the Broncos one of the teams to beat in the AFC. I think so this year. I would still put the Broncos defense / special teams number 2 on my defense list when it's all said and done. So I'm not overreacting to that. Now, if it was Patrick Surtain that was on this, I would have this would be a whole different conversation. Quite frankly. So,
well, looks like I don't know if there's been a court date set for Cooper, but we're going to keep an eye on this story right here. Something happened earlier today. Former NFL quarterback Tony Romo had his driving privileges revoked for 6 months after he pleaded no contest earlier today to charges that he was driving while intoxicated. It was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, July 23rd. It says court records show one of the arresting officers said he detected a quote unquote strong odor of an alcoholic beverage on his breath. He performed poorly on his sobriety test and was taken in custody. Following his plea, the court found him guilty, so he is suspended for 6 months from driving and ordered the ignition interlock device to be placed on any vehicle registered or operated by him. He is also required to attend an alcohol assessment program, and he has to pay a fine of $784. It doesn't seem like much, but it looks like Romo's days at CBS have pretty much gone out the window, I think.
Mm.
And a lot of people, there were a lot of his peers saying that he was a very good broadcaster when he was teaming up with Jim Nance, but looks like he just threw that away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tony, you're just going to throw a career away on something like that. You got to be more careful that you're going to throw that career away.
Oh my God!
Oh, I mean, this is crazy. So, what do you guys think? He's out.
Well, I mean, if you look at the end of the Romo statement, he says that he does plan on returning to CBS at some point, but it's going to be just a matter of when, matter if it'll actually happen. So it's not entirely ruled out yet that he's gone, but that's something to monitor.
Oh, okay, well, we'll just see what happens in that case. Let's go back to Green Bay with this one. The Green Bay Packers have moved their linebacker Michael Parsons to the PUP list. Physically unable to perform. Of course, he's out for at least 4 more games. Still recovering from that torn ACL and a meniscus tear they suffered in the December 2025 game. Can't remember what game it was, but it looks like he's going to be out.
It was the game against Denver. That was the game that it all fell apart for the Packers. So like they were in the driver's seat to be the 2 seed or in the NFC, and then he got hurt, and the Broncos just started to run wild on him, and the Packers didn't really the Packers haven't won a game since he tore his ACL.
Yeah, so but they're saying that his timetable was not definite, but a lot of people are saying he could come back in week 6. And that's when the Packers have a home game against the team that originally drafted him, the Dallas Cowboys.
It's not an accident why this is the case, because the Packers have another game after that. So I mean, I do think it's worthwhile to pull up the Packers schedule for a quick moment here, because we're on the Josh Jacobs topic, and we're also on the on the Micah Parsons thing. And if you look at the schedule, that they start against Minnesota, the Jets. I mean, that's, I mean, even that week 2 game against the Jets, it's not a guarantee that they'll win. Chances are they might, but they got Atlanta, Tampa, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, Carolina. So they have 7 of their first 8 games are in the conference.
Right.
Yeah, right now I can only envision maybe 2 wins tops right now.
Right. I mean, and I had the Packers missing the playoffs before the Josh Jacobs news went down, but now it really with how competitive I think Chicago and Detroit are, it's
I don't have the Packers making it regardless.
right.
I think I did have the
I think they're
Packers.
going to finish ahead of Minnesota in the standings, but
I think I had the Packers as the 7th seed, but we'll explain all that on a Thursday night show. So
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Although I will say it should be noted that the Packers moved from 1.5-point favorites against Minnesota to 1.5-point dogs against Minnesota.
Ooh.
oh,
Should be noted with that when we do our picks for week 1 on next Tuesday.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, we got another Law and Order topic, unless you have it on your list already.
here, let me get that sounder here.
Yep.
All right.
Remember, it broke out a couple days ago, but yeah, Keenan Allen got arrested. However, they are expecting him to play week 1.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. What was the
It was drunken driving.
Drunken driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
but I mean,
another
Keenan Allen is their number 3 wide receiver right now behind Alec Pierce and Josh Downs.
Yeah, but I mean, he's probably more than likely he's well off the fantasy radar unless you're in a dynasty league or in a deep league.
Right.
Yeah.
He's probably only there if you're in a minimum of maybe a 16-team league or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. So let's see what I have right there. So and it looks like the Green Bay Packers they were involved in a trade, and the Packers got running back Caleb Johnson from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean, they knew that this was going to go down. I mean, the news of that trade broke about 30 minutes before the Josh Jacobs news came down. So yeah, the Packers have been all over the headlines the last 48 to 72 hours.
Oh yeah.
It's just been absolutely crazy here. Speaking of Pittsburgh in a trade, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they traded offensive tackle Broderick Jones to the Cowboys. They traded Broderick Jones and a 2027 4th-round pick, and the Cowboys give up a 2027 3rd-round and a 6th-round pick. So maybe a little something to bolster up that offensive line.
Yeah,
I think the offensive line starters are set.
So, I mean, I think the Cowboys. I heard the Cowboys are trying to figure out who their right guard and the right tackle is going to be for week 1, which I actually saw, which actually could be a little concerning, for the Cowboys, because the Cowboys are so used to having such a strong offensive line, but now they still have questions. And Brian Steinheimer talked to the press yesterday about this, Tim, and he said that Broderick Jones will compete for the starting right tackle job with Terrence Steele. So yeah, the Cowboys don't know who their right tackle is going to be. So and they're going to have to deal with. So with Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, maybe Arvell Reese as well, if he wants to come off the edge as well. So yeah, the Cowboys might have their hands full with the Giants' defensive line.
Yeah, they could.
Oh yeah, speaking of the Steelers, there's another piece of Steelers news here. There is a possibility that Joey Porter Jr. might continue his holdout, because he's looking for a new deal.
Oh,
I think, I mean, as good as Porter has been, I mean, if he's commanding Devon Witherspoon money, the Steelers are going to have to trade him.
Yeah, I mean, he's been linked to some trade rumors past week. He was linked to the Giants just recently, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy I wanted the Giants to draft a couple so like 3 years ago instead of Deontay Banks.
Right.
And it was an easy first guess at the time.
Yep.
And also, Vampire Luke says hello.
What's up, Luke?
What's up, Luke? Yeah, you can see him joining us tonight. Okay. Let's see here. We got everything here. We got it. Oh yeah. A real big story came out just a couple days ago. It is now official. Defensive tackle Aaron Donald came out of retirement. He signs a 1-year, $20 million deal with the LA Rams. And the deal, of course, could be worth up to $30 million. Now,
why am I not scared about this? Because there's something about that doesn't scare me, honestly.
Care to elaborate?
It's like if he's coming out of 2 years on the sidelines and he's gonna be doing that, and then he's gonna gear up for a real life NFL game in about 10 days. So you'll know if he'll be all ready to go for
I think.
Yeah. I was saying that there's also other things going on with the Rams. With Aaron Donald like coming back and after 2 years on the sidelines and all that, and also Myles Garrett has been a little banged up as well because he's dealing with some right knee swellness. So that could be a potential thing that could doing the Rams when. And also speaking of the Rams, McVay talked to the press and he said that the Rams aren't going to get to Australia until a couple of days before the game. Now it should be noted that the Bills had an international game against Jacksonville a couple of years ago where they didn't get into pull into London until a couple of days before. And the Bills lost the game, and they lost a couple of key players to injury in that game that negatively affected them the rest of the season. So I'm not saying you should pull your Rams Super Bowl picks, but something feels a little off about the Rams. I don't know what it is, but something feels off about the Rams.
Okay. Luke did ask a question. He said, "Will the draft be streamed?" Yes, it
Absolutely.
will.
Absolutely.
It will.
Yes. Show the time again, Tim. That way for the reminders.
How can it be? It's the biggest show of the year for Fantasy Football Fever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's our biggest show.
Remember, Luke, check your time zone. I think you're 5 hours ahead of the East Coast, so that'd be 2:30 a.m. for you on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. So we are definitely going. We're going to be live and in color on a Saturday night. And as I kind of said, with all apologies to Sir Elton John, Saturday night's all right for drafting.
Yeah.
So, and I think we got this. I got there. We covered. Oh yeah. Since you guys are Giants fans, you guys probably know Odell Beckham Jr. somehow made the 53-man roster.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I expected him to make it all along. Yeah, I predicted him to make it at the conclusion of week 1 of the preseason.
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised, honestly.
I don't know how to feel about this now. Now, the vast majority of Giants fans have been praising the heavens. So, but I also worry that the Mara folks are celebrating because I don't know if it's because of jersey sales again, which we've gone that we went down that rabbit hole before, and we know how that ended up the last time. And so with
Right.
that, but and on top of that, there's more Giants wide receiver news because Malik Neighbors talked to the press today, and did not and refused to give any specifics on when he is going to be able to come back to the field. Now, there was a lot of optimism around the fantasy community that Malik Neighbors was going to be good to go for the week 1 clash against Dallas on in 2 weeks. But he pulled the curtain on that a little bit, and said that something along the lines of that he's gonna go when he's 100%. He's gonna go when he plays plays 4 quarters, and he refused and basically gave a poker face to the press when asked about that. So, and now Malik Neighbors' draft ADP has gone down a little bit since those quotes came out.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I still think I think he's going to play. I think he doesn't want to give too much away. That's the way I'm looking at it. Because if he says right off the gate, "Oh, I'm playing," that means the teams will have time to a chance to strategize and look at his film and whatnot.
Right.
So I think that's an indication. I think he's going to be playing.
Oh yeah. One more bit of information.
Well, I have to see it to believe it, Natalie.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's doing a fake out that way. When recent opponents come into play, like they'll, you know what I'm saying. Like if he said yes right out of the gate, teams are just going to study him basically.
Right. So, the only other bit of news I have left here is from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier today, the Lions placed their running back Isaiah Pacheco on the injured reserve list, dealing with an MCL strain in addition to a recently back injury they had during training camp. So, and of course, the Lions were hoping that Pacheco would be a good complement to Jahmyr Gibbs after after they traded David Montgomery to the Houston Texans. So Isaiah Pacheco is going to be on the injured list, and I don't think they have even a timetable if he's going to be returning this season, if he's going to play at all. But it's kind of a big hit to the Lions there.
So that basically means Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to get an extra 3 to 4 touches a game on top of what he already has.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically that. So, is that everything you have for this?
Yeah, I'm just double checking to see if there's anything here.
Yeah,
I'm on NFL.com right now.
I got here.
Yeah, I don't see anything else either.
Yeah.
All right. It is trivia time, my friends. And this week, it looks like Flynn is the only one that has a question or two for us this week. So,
well, I mean, this is kind of a makeup after not having anything last week. With what Tim and Natalia have. So this is a 2-part question. So I think what is an interesting analytic to look at it is yards after contact. So that's something that intrigued me when the Marshawn Lloyd news thing came out, and when in the fantasy community had a big whoop-de-doo over it. So my trivia question for you is, last year, I'll be looking at among running backs that had a minimum of 100 rushing attempts. Which running back had the highest rushing yards after contact per attempt?
Hmm.
So I'll be looking at that.
Yeah.
And the second question after that is was among among wide receivers that made at least 50 catches last year. Which one had the highest yards after contact per reception? So I'll be looking at the running back with the highest yards after contact per attempt, and for the wide receiver with the highest yards after contact per reception. So
Okay.
those are your two questions for tonight. So
Okay.
Ooh, those are very interesting
Yeah.
ones here.
I'll be definitely thinking about those as we go along with the show. Of course, we'll have those.
Yeah.
We'll have the answers to those questions at the end of today's show. But
Yeah.
now it's
It's
time to
time for the
get
main
to,
attraction. Yeah.
yes, so
Yeah.
a lot.
Basically, we're looking
So
at last minute fantasy advice here, folks.
right,
Figure-
I know a lot of you are going to be drafting within the next 7 days leading up to the season opener, a week from tomorrow night. Yes, there are 8 days away from a real life regular season NFL game taking place. So what we do every year, the last fantasy related show before our draft is we go back to the episode we did right after the Super Bowl, and it's discussing the lessons we learned in fantasy from last year and what we're going to do this year to correct those wrongs. So and this is basically how I'm going to approach him this year, and I'm gonna give you some of my fantasy takes along the way. Now, I gave a little. If you're watching on the channel, my channel, you know you also had last. I teased a little bit of it yesterday on Hooked on Sports, but but. And I think my main lesson, and I applied it right away with my first 3 picks, with 3 of my first 4 picks in the draft, is that if you have strong intuitions on a guy, that if you're feeling very strongly about him, get him while you can. So in the league I had drafted Sunday night, I had the 12th pick in a 12-team league in the first round. So I think what's really going to happen this year is you got to get running backs early because I think the amount of running back depth. So who can be robust type of running backs who are I'm thinking guys that can should be getting 20 to 25 touches per game. So I'm thinking like Devon Achane and Kenneth Walker III, Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, and all of that. My biggest takeaway from what I've been seeing so far is that you got to get two strong running backs early, or you have to hope that's one of the mid-tier running backs that you like. So like I'm looking at Facial Tootin, Jadarian Price, and now emerging Marshawn Lloyd from the Packers. So you have to hope that one of them hits. So because the amount of running backs who could impact leagues this year, I think is you can feel safe about is not as many as we've seen in years past.
Mhm.
So so a guy I wanted, Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley plays in front of a great offensive line, and he actually has one of the easiest fantasy schedules for running backs. The Eagles do. So I love Saquon Barkley this year. I think if he is available at that first turn, I think he is someone that I would love to have this year. Which leads into the second question: who your players face matters. So I'm digging Saquon. I'm digging, and I'm also digging Ladd McConkey and Emeka Egbuka, as well, because they were my next two picks. After that, so to fill out the wide receiver position. So, I think with the Chargers, with Jesse Minter leaving the Chargers, the defensive coordinator, I think the Chargers are going to take a bit of a step back defensively this year. So I think that means that I think Mike McDaniel's offense is going to be humming. So one of my favorite stacks of the season is the Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, Amari, and Hampton. If it's a trio, because I think the Chargers are going to have to win a lot of 30-27, 35-31 type of games if they're going to survive this year.
Yeah.
That's just me. The NFL is a week-to-week league, unlike the rest of the sport. But actually, one of Tim's first lessons was not to draft two quarterbacks early. So I drafted two in the first 10 of that because I feel like the gap between like quarterbacks 7 through 18 is one of the tightest that I've ever seen. With that, because you can make the case for about for 15 different quarterbacks who I think would be really good for your team this year. So I have that. And I actually toggled between the two. I picked the two quarterbacks I really wanted last year in Drake May and Dak Prescott, but I'm not comfortable trading one of them unless I get another one of my list of 18 or so quarterbacks that I want back. And also, like, for example, like there's a week 1, Drake May plays Seattle while Dak Prescott plays the Giants. So I like my chances more with Dak Prescott than I do Drake May. And then the following week, the Cowboys play Washington while the Steelers are the ones playing Drake May's Patriots. So not exactly an easy schedule for Drake May and the Patriots, but
right.
But the NFL is a week-to-week league, and I applied that lesson. Find great performers in high demand, low supply positions. I did not get the chance to do that this year because pick 13 overall was too high for me to justify drafting Brock Bowers with such a high demand of running backs. So I went Chase Brown and Saquon Barkley with my first two picks, which I think gives me the best chance to win a championship on that. And ESPN rated right now has me finishing in 10th place out of 12, but I actually like my team more than the rest of than what their computer models are saying. So so I have that as well, and unlearn the theory that quarterback-proof wideouts exist. And for number 5, that was the exact reason I did not draft Drake London in my when I had the opportunity to this year. So I think some of my other fantasy takes that I talked about that how to view Puka, Amon St. Brown, and JSN.
Right.
And Gibbs over Robinson should always be the play. What else am I thinking? I think Marshawn Lloyd could potentially be a league winner. I think Bashal Tutin could be a league winner. I definitely think would take a swing on Greg Dulcich if you had the last pick, because I think now with the Dolphins wide receiver room basically being the worst in the NFL, and the fact that Kevin Patullo called the offense that made Dallas Goedert the 6th ranked tight end in fantasy when he came in ranked last season ranked 13. I actually feel pretty bullish about Greg Dulcich this year. So, but I would wait to the very end to draft him.
All right. So, little piece of lessons learned from Mr. Flynn after last season. Kind of looking to apply that to his drafting this year. He's trying to do that for his mock drafts, and of course, our big draft night comes up on Saturday night. So, let's look back
And also, it should be noted that I'm gonna have the 10th pick in our draft Saturday night. So I'm basically gonna be applying the same lessons either less. So I don't know, Tal, you've been doing a bunch of mock drafts. So what has been the overall trend you've been seeing when going up against the computers?
Let's see. I mean, for the most part, I've been getting like the same players here and there. It kind of just depends, really. I'm trying different strategies. Like sometimes I'll go running back, and then or I'll go running back, then wide receiver, or running back, then running back. I do a whole lot of different patterns for like the first 4 picks, essentially. So technically, everything like varies. So basically, it's just doing all types of different combinations until you find the one that works the best. I mean, I've been drafting in the practice drafting in the position I put myself in. Since I have the 3rd pick, I practice drafting in the 3rd spot to give myself an idea.
Yeah. Has there been any situations where someone passed on Gibbs or Robinson?
Yes, I've actually gotten Gibbs a couple times. No, actually, I got Gibbs once, and I've gotten Bijan Robinson maybe 2 or 3 times. But in a majority of my practices, I typically would either, if I didn't go running back, I try Jamar Chase. But then I saw maybe picking Jamar Chase wasn't such a great idea as the first pick because the wide receiver class is all the way towards the back, and the running back class is all the way towards the front. Kind of ties into what you said. Like you should go running back with your first pick, and then potentially your second pick also.
Yeah. I mean, the draft I had Sunday night. So it went Gibbs, Bijan, then James Cook went 3, and Jonathan Taylor went number 4. And I said, yep, that's the confirmation I need to know. That I need to draft 2 running backs. With my first with this. So speaking of Marshawn, I believe it's Marshawn Lloyd. We do have a question. So from Mr. Lee 17. So do you trade T. Higgins and Marshawn Lloyd for Drake London? I mean,
this is probably a hard pass for me.
This is actually a tough one because I'm not as high on T. Higgins as others. I'm not as high on Drake London as others. So I think Marshawn Lloyd might be a useful trade chip if Josh Jacobs situation gets worse. So
this is a very hard pass for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Overall.
Yeah.
Because Higgins is always very streaky.
Yeah.
I just gave up Devon Achane for Chris Olave and Jadarian Price in a Dynasty 10-man PPR.
Love it.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Love it. I think Chris Olave is going to have a monster season. I have Chris Olave ranked higher on my wide receiver list than both Natalie and Tim did. I mean, I really like the Saints this year. And Chris Olave was played at a high level down the stretch of the season when Tyler Shuck was beginning to settle in and be a pro. So I love that trade.
And especially Jordan Tyson is going to be out for a month, so Olave is going to get much more targets.
I never done like the Jordan Tyson pick for New Orleans. I think the biggest thing I was critical about the Saints this offseason was drafting Jordan Tyson with the 8th pick. Because he's not as athletic, and the same injury problems that plagued him in Arizona State last year are plaguing him again this year. So I didn't like that pick at all. But when you have Kellen Moore, when you bring in a guy like Travis Etienne, I remember they brought in Etienne on a 4-year contract this year.
Yeah.
So I like Travis Etienne more than most this year. So.
Oh, interesting there.
Yeah,
Yes, I can see.
So going back to how to pick 3. So in the drafts where Gibbs and Bijan are gone at 1-2, have you been going Jonathan Taylor or James Cook with pick number 3?
Yeah, a majority of the time I've been going with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, because he's running back 3 on your list as well as mine.
The fantasy depends on the fantasy game you're playing. It fluctuates between Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor as running back 3, but I'm less nervous about Jonathan Taylor than I am about Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
But yeah, if you have the third pick if anybody has the third pick in the 3rd round, I wouldn't necessarily waste it on the guys like Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jamar Chase. You can get plenty of wide receivers in round 3, such as Chris Olave, Nico Collins, AJ Brown.
Devontae Smith is a great one.
Yep.
If someone like Lad McCon, if Parker Washington falls down to round 6, he's a great pickup in round 6.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, what we're saying is, within the first 5 rounds, you're going to want at least 3 running backs.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something I could definitely use.
I mean, in my case, I only drafted 2 in my first 5, but they were my first 2 picks.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to let the board come to me, to pick otherwise. So.
Yeah, it really depends on where you're drafting too, for that matter. Like if you're towards the beginning, you'll probably want to start with the running backs. But then when it comes to the latter part, you might want to grab those wide receivers before the people in the round 2 get them.
Also, a couple of things I observed, and I didn't agree with this, with this, but I get it. But in round 8 and 9 in my draft on Sunday, there was a pretty surprisingly long run on tight ends being picked.
Yes.
I disagree with that, but that I think that's going to be a reality. There's also a run at quarterbacks in rounds 5 through 6. I disagree with that. Because you can get Dak Prescott in round 10. You can get. Caleb Williams in theory should go round 7 or 8, but he's going in round 6. So, but I will say I do think it would be a good idea to have 2 of the top 18 on your roster, because I think any type of quarterback could be a really good expendable trade chip, for what it's worth.
Yeah, that kind of ties into what I put in number 3. Late round quarterbacks were pretty strong this year, and a couple of the mocks that I tested out, I think a couple quarterbacks, I think Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, they fell all the way to level. They fell pretty much down to 11. So yeah, if you want to get fancy and wait till round 11, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Jared Goff as well, because the Lions have one of the easiest schedules in the league this year, in terms of defensive opponents. So Jared Goff as well, but also the thing is, other teams, other managers might try and get their quarterbacks now because the fear that they might not be available come the next time they draft. So
interesting.
Yeah. And also another thing that I kept drafting kickers in my mock draft. So it's like specifically Brandon Aubrey. So I did not do that during my real draft. I waited till the last round to draft my kicker,
Wait, which kicker did you end up with?
Jake Bates.
Oh, that's good.
Jake
Good move.
Bates. Good pick.
I guess your
good pick.
defense you did round 15 then.
Yeah, actually I did my defense in my mocks early on as well, because it's one of the top ones. But I went with the Ravens defense because I went with them because they too have an easy schedule. Remember that they play the Browns twice as well.
Right.
I mean, the defense that defense that I was hoping to draft was the Steelers, but they went 2 picks before I did, so I wound up settling with the Ravens. Also have an easy schedule, with their schedule.
It'll be interesting to look at the. I'll take a look at the Steelers
and Jesse
schedules.
Minter is the head coach of the Ravens too. That's another reason why I drafted them.
Right. Yeah, so we have Jared saying, "Hey guys, hey Jared, how you doing? Hope you're learning a lot of stuff here because it's drafting time. Of course, our big draft comes on Saturday night. Let's see here. We want to go ahead and get to my lessons learned.
Yes.
And in the last few days, I did a couple of mock drafts myself. I did one on a Thursday night, and I did one just last night. So let's see, you don't want to draft two quarterbacks early. It's kind of I was thinking because guess that'll take away some of the top running backs and wide receivers that you can keep your eye on.
But I know but I'll guarantee you 2 or 3 people won't learn that lesson, and it's gonna force you to draft a quarterback early as force the others to draft quarterbacks as well.
Well,
because they don't want to miss out on that on that second tier or third tier quarterbacks. So
right.
I mean, I disagree with it, but again, you gotta let the draft come to you.
Yeah. The downside is though, you draft a quarterback early, you miss out on top tier running back or top tier wide receiver.
Exactly.
Right. The only quarterbacks I could justify taking before the end of round 4 in 12-team league, even in 12-team leagues, the only 2 quarterbacks I can justify taking that early are Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the top 2 quarterbacks in the entire AFC.
But yeah, like I said, like taking them early is a huge risk because then you could miss out on the potential of a big wide receiver or a big running back.
Yeah. So or you trust your gut that the guys you plan on drafting are going to break out.
Yeah.
Yep. That could be the case here. And Flynn just mentioned that number 5 one. Let the draft come to you rather than force something. The best player falls into your lap.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what examples of have you come across when following your mocks?
Well, here I'm just letting my strategy here. Natalia was talking about his strategy. I was talking about like the last couple of nights I did like a running back, wide receiver, quarterback. Then I probably go maybe another running back, another wide receiver. Then I might get a tight end and then go to another quarterback maybe, but not. I don't think picking 2 quarterbacks inside the first 5 rounds would probably be the best thing to do. I don't think so. In fact, I was actually going to share with you guys, and maybe Lynn and Natalia could give me an analysis of my mock drafts that I did recently.
Pick the one that you think is your best one.
Yeah. Or you can pick anyone because it's a mock.
True, fair
Right.
enough.
It really doesn't matter.
Okay. So the one I did last Thursday night. This is the order that I picked for, man. My first pick was James Cook. Second pick, CD.
And before that, what pick did you have in the first round? Just for reference.
I was number 8.
Okay, so 8 out of 12. Okay.
Yeah, it was I tried to pick a 12-team mock draft here, kind of like similar to what we have right now. So
Yes.
I was picking number 8. So I picked James Cook. Then I picked CD Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went with my quarterback, Dak Prescott. I picked Colston Loveland for my tight end.
Colston Loveland, I think, is going to be really good because he was Ben Johnson's first draft pick upon arriving to Chicago. So, noteworthy there, and think about how he performed down the stretch of the season last year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So then I kind of had to pull the trigger a little bit. On the 5th pick, I had to go with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, a little early there.
Yeah. Well, look at that. Look at that first lesson, Tim. Never draft 2 quarterbacks early, and you did there.
Right.
That's what's been costing you every single year we've been doing this league.
Right. It's just old habits I'm trying to break,
Yep.
Anyway, next I picked Bucky Irving. Then I got Roma Dunze, Ramondre Stevenson, and Aaron Jones. Then I think these are my bench picks: Alec Pierce, Jaden Reed, Dallas Goddard, Jordan Mason. Well, can't remember how that, but my I picked one defense, the Steelers, and I picked Harrison Mevis as my kicker, and then I picked the Lions defense special teams. But then I got that message from Flynn saying that really shouldn't be necessary to pick 2 defensive special teams
either, yeah.
draft. So
every mock draft I did, I only picked 1 defense and 1 kicker.
Yeah.
Every mock draft I've done.
Yeah, and as far as the tight ends, I like the pick, but you could still find value towards the middle rounds. And in a lot of the mocks that I did, either round 6 or round 7, a couple of the tight ends that came into my lap were Kyle Pitts and Sam Laporta.
That's true, but then you also have the other side, like what if you wait on them and they go right before you pick? Are you going to panic and draft a tight end because you think there's going to be a run of tight ends?
That's another good point. Yeah, because I know Loveland and Warren will come off the board early.
Right.
And I did notice in some of the mocks, I think in rounds 10 or 11, Travis Kelce and like Dallas Goddard were drafted there, and Mark Andrews.
Right. So I found this found this potential draft companion site that we could use for the people in the audience to track our progress during the draft. But I do want to play a little bit of a quick one right now. With that, so we can play play along with what we have here. So we're gonna do the assumption that Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan are going to go, but what I've been seeing in a lot of drafts is Jamar Chase going around with a 3rd pick. So then it leaves an interesting where to go with your 4th pick. Do you go Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, or do you go wide receiver?
Yeah, if I'm 4th in that situation, I personally want to go running back here. My pick would be Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
If I'm 4th.
Right. So then what we have with the 5th pick, which I think could be a bit of a conundrum a little bit. here because because Christian McCaffrey carries a lot of risk. James Cook was busy last year, but then you see some value little bit later on. So let's say the fifth pick. Well, let's say Puka Nacua goes fifth, then Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jackson Smith, and Jigba go 7,
and then 8 for James Cook.
Yeah, so this feels like the scenario that Tim had the other night. So then you go McCaffrey, Achane, or CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
So it's like I picked 9. I think might be the toughest spot to be in the entire for that. But because you're probably not going to have access to a top 3 running back. You're probably not going to have access to a top 3 wide receiver. But you still got to figure out those needs. So
I would assume person 9 would pick McCaffrey because that way they could get a receiver next.
Right.
They have no choice. They have to go McCaffrey there.
Right. So then pick 10. You probably would think CeeDee Lamb would be the next to go. Then then you probably think Justin Jefferson would go. But then with my thing with pick 12, I didn't take Achane because I think the Dolphins offense stinks this year. With a similar reasoning as I did with passing up on Drake London. So I went Saquon Barkley and Chase Brown. As I actually went that with my 12. So then you go back to 11. Maybe you're thinking drafting Achane maybe, and then
probably London.
Yeah, and then you're thinking AJ Brown. Then but now here becomes a little interesting because for team 3 because you have because five picks before you, and you have Genty, Hampton, Henry, Waller, before you have to pick again. So
I had myself in that situation when I picked Jamar Chase. I think my running back ended up being either Kyren Williams or what was it? Travis Etienne, I believe, after there.
Yes, I was so let's
which
say
aren't not bad at all by any means, but could have been a lot better.
Right.
I see, but then let's also say that team 8, and you drafted Nico Collins in yours or Olave, Tim.
I actually had both. I had both of them in combinations. I had both of them in round 3.
Yeah.
In separate drafts.
On my mock draft I did last night, I picked Nico Collins at number 2.
All right. So then you figure that you might see Ashton Genty go, you might see Amari Hampton go, you might see Kenneth Walker go. So and then you're thinking what do you do with your pick here because you have Olave there, but then it'll be 6 picks before you pick again in round 3 from a team 4 perspective. So potential wide receivers that could get there are George Pickens, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Devontae Smith, Garrett Wilson.
Still good talent. Still good talent there.
So let's say you're looking at what team 3 needs. He needs another running back. And let's get Derrick Henry off the board.
Yeah, that was team 4. Now we're talking about team 3 here. Yeah, This was my situation one time. Yeah, I ended up with Kyren Williams in this one.
Yeah, but now is this where you think about making sure you get one of the best at your position? So maybe the best receiver and the best tight end.
Maybe.
In fantasy, it was like you have to start a tight end and you have to start a receiver and you got to start running backs. Guys, so we could have Bowers there, but then but let's say team but now team 2 is in a pretty good spot here because you can either go Josh Allen, you can go a wide receiver, and then roll the dice, hoping you get a back or receiver falls to you at the end of round 4. So yeah, let's say here, pull the trigger on Josh Allen.
All right.
And then team 1. So you have your options: a receiver, tight end. So let's say here, let's go Pickens and McBride here. So then we're at 3. So now we go back to 2. Then you probably draft someone that I would go
Rashid Rice, maybe.
I would go Devontae Smith, and then team 3.
Yeah, maybe a running back.
So let's say Kyle Williams goes there. But now team 4, you're in a good spot here. So drafting below the average draft position for Neighbors and Rice. So with the Neighbors news, let's go with Rice here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking here, maybe Jeremiah Love goes here, and then.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee he's gonna be ready for week 1 either, though. You got to keep that in mind.
Right. So let's do a little rapid thinking for here. So let's say Javonte Williams seems like a good pick this year because actually on the Fantasy Pros projections chart, there are 6 running backs that are projected to score 10 or more rushing touchdowns, and they are Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, and Javonte Williams. So which could be something to think about come draft time. And Javonte Williams had a monster season last year for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Actually, we're not going to do that for this team 10. So we got to go running back here.
Yeah, they need a running back there. Team 11, you got another receiver there, a quarterback.
Well, actually, I'm going to scratch that Jackson's pick and do what I did. I went McConkey and I went Igbuka here. So. I mean, let's eliminate Josh Jacobs because we know he's he's out of it. So but now that you have Zay Flowers here at 3, you're thinking quarterback receiver stack here with this pick?
Maybe.
Let's do it. And then then you're thinking ETN here. You're thinking maybe it's a wide receiver who can fit into your flex. Actually, maybe that might not be the strongest play here. The strongest play here might be Colston Loveland. So let's fill this out a little bit. Do some rapid thinking here. Let's go. I think we got to do Swift, and then we got to do this. Devontae Adams falls to 4.11 here, which could be.
Yeah, just picking up McBride. Yeah, maybe another running back for team 1.
Yeah, the next best. The next best.
We'll make it a double down here.
Yeah. Here is Bucky Irving.
Yeah. Okay. Now the next wide receiver then for them maybe.
Right. So then you got that. Oh, Chris Olave somehow fell through the cracks. So well, how about this? Let's take
there.
Yeah. So let's yeah. So which would be a huge boom. I mean, I thought Olave was going to be there, but that would be the ultimate steal right there.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then you're thinking running back here potentially Bashal Tootin, and then then you like another running back here. You can you can
yeah, pretty much after round 5 the best guys are off the board.
Right. So like
Yeah.
who's still available here?
David Montgomery, maybe, or
I
Anderson,
mean,
Jonathan Brooks, Rico Dowdle, David Montgomery.
I said, but
yeah,
I
pretty
said,
much after Montgomery, you're pretty much cooked. Montgomery's
Yeah.
probably basically the last one, and then
Yeah.
Jadarian Price maybe.
yeah, but you might get away with not having to pick running back here because you have the two already up there, which is
Right.
what happens here. So then let's do some best flex available for these next few picks. So let's go. Let's go McLaurin. Let's go JMO. Let's go this. It feels like a running back, Jadarian Price.
Mhm.
Actually, maybe not as much, but Rome Odunze now is here. I think you'll need best available running back here. Maybe because the team 12 might not need a running back because of how confident they feel about Brown and Barkley. We can just pick a good flex option, or is it maybe too early for a tight end? So
Yeah.
so you can go for your flex here, which leads you to Christian Watson. So and then what I did here was I drafted Drake May, and then I drafted Ramondre Stevenson. I saw Steven ahead of Chevion, and who goes next here,
Mm-hmm.
and then then so on and so forth. So let's but also here is where you might see a run of quarterbacks here. So
Oh yeah.
so I think thinking Burrow might go there. So it's it's an interesting spot for team 9 because you have your 5 flex spots already filled here. So maybe you go with Caleb Williams here. It's team 8 might want a third third running back here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, but then maybe here's where maybe you might want to pull the trigger on on a couple of quarterbacks here.
Yep.
And so on and so forth. So
yeah,
it's so I mean this is kind of what I've been getting the feeling of how I think most of your drafts are going to go this year in 12 team PPR leagues. So
right.
I'm just put that out there as a potential the tool to use, and maybe we could use that tool for that. So
Okay.
Yep. Yep. I think I've gotten enough information. I think.
It's not touching Achane. Noted.
So, but listen, hey, you never know. Yeah, you never know. Because the one thing I love about why I love draft nights so much here is because you don't know what's going to happen. So that in all the other podcast episodes we do, I'd say there's no like live drama. So, but you will get live drama on Saturday night.
Oh yeah. That is true. That is true. I really do like that little thing that he showed me right there. In fact, I was going to kind of set one up for a Saturday night. But anyway, it's time to answer those questions that Flynn gave us earlier in the show.
Yep. So I want you to pick the running back that had the highest rushing yards after contact per rushing attempt, a minimum of 100 rushing attempts, and the same thing for wide receivers, minimum of 50 receptions.
Okay.
So and this is last season.
Last season.
Okay. I think I've got a good guess for the running back.
All right.
Uh, this is just a guess, but this was the first name that came to my head. I'm for the running back. I'm going to go with Jameer Gibbs.
Hmm. Jameer Gibbs sounds interesting, but I feel like that's too obvious. I mean, yeah, Bijan feels a bit obvious. And I doubt it's Christian McCaffrey because he's not that player he once was. Chase Brown is maybe a possibility, but the two that I'm torn between are Jonathan Taylor and James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go with the one that's probably more pass catching friendly. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, so you're going with Jonathan Taylor, Natalie, and
Yeah.
who are you going with, Tim?
Jameer Gibbs.
Okay, so I think so for this one I'm gonna start with with Tim because there's something about Natalie's answer that I want to build upon. So so you know where this is going with you, Tim, right? Yeah, so Jameer Gibbs only had 1.7 yards after contact, which I found pretty surprising. But so you're going with Jonathan Taylor on yours, Natalie?
Yeah, but it could possibly be Cook or maybe even Brown, but those are the top two. But Jonathan Taylor is my final answer.
So I can tell you're on the right track with how you approach the answer, but. All right, so the answer I was looking for is I'm actually going to give you the numbers for Jonathan Taylor with that. So Jonathan Taylor is actually pretty close. He ranked fifth on the list. With 2.4. Gibbs had just 1.7. So the running back I was looking for, yeah, he was pretty active in the passing game too. I was looking for Devon Achane for the Miami Dolphins.
Achane, wow.
Oh, Achane. Wow.
I mean, and his yards after contact was a big reason why I won one of my leagues last year. The league I drafted Achane, and that was a big reason why I won.
Right.
So now the second question is which wide receiver a minimum of 50 receptions has the most yards after contact per reception.
With a minimum of 50 receptions.
A few names here that are certain possibilities.
I know there's a guy who got a lot of receptions because his teammate was hurt for a few weeks. My obvious answer would be George Pickens, but I'm not going with that. I'm going to go with another receiver here. Got to be a very good one. Who is I'm going to say it's a wide receiver. And Natalia, you got anything?
Yeah, there's a few names that are floating in my head. I mean, yeah, I think Jamar Chase is certainly a possibility, but I feel like he's too obvious.
Right.
For some reason, Devontae Adams popped in my head too, but I don't think that's it either.
I can tell you this is not an obvious answer. So
yeah,
I'm giving you that hint.
No, I think you kind of gave me a clue here. I'm kind of thinking maybe Devontae Smith.
You're gonna go with Devonta Smith. Let's see. Well, now that Flynn said it's not so obvious, I'm gonna take back the original answer I had in mind. My original final answer was gonna be Jackson Smith Njigba, but since Flynn said it's not so obvious, and now I'm gonna move away from Puka Nacua because those are the two I was between. But because Flynn said wasn't so obvious, I'm gonna go a little off the rail here. I'm gonna just say Devontae Adams.
I'm going to say Devontae Smith.
So we got the Devontaes here.
Yeah.
So, so let's start with Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And now Devontae Adams.
It better not be the ones that I thought of initially.
So I'll give you the numbers for yard depth of contact per reception. So Devontae Smith only had 0.8 yards depth of contact per reception, so he had 77 catches last year, only 64 yards after contact. I said Devontae Adams, not even worse than that, 0.5 yards per contact.
Wow.
I will. So the answer I was looking for was 3.3 yards after contact per reception. I was looking for Khalil Shakir of the Buffalo Bills.
Khalil Shakir.
Yeah. I mean, think about how big Khalil Shakir has been. Was during the playoffs as a reliable pass catcher, and why he was so effective. That's him.
Wow. Just for the sake of argument, just to see what would have happened. What did Jackson Smith-Njigba have? That would have been my initial guess.
So Jackson Smith, and actually George Pickens was a close guess. He had George Pickens had 2.1, which isn't bad. Jackson Smith-Njigba had 1.5. So Njigba was the best guess that you could have had.
Yeah. Both of them are still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Those were also some real stumpers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
So I mean, an advanced analytics stat to think about come draft night.
At least my Taylor one wasn't terrible. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll give you some other ones that were pretty high on that. DK Metcalf, Parker Washington, Jameson Williams, Lad McConkey, who I said I'm obsessed with this year. Pickens, Nakua. Nakua should be an easy one because you also have to be a physical receiver as well. So like think of how physical he is. In terms of running backs, that were close. Said Ramondre Stevenson, Javonte Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Jalen Warren, Jordan Mason, J.K. Dobbins, Kimani Vidal when he filled in for Marion Hampton. So think of that come draft night.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I did have Hampton in one of my mocks. I think I had a stack of Taylor and Hampton.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm kind of thinking maybe
look into some of the advanced analytics stats because they can help you come draft night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So just a little kindly information for all you fantasy players who have not yet drafted. Hooked on Sports, the latest edition of Hooked on Sports is available now because I was listening to it when I was going home from work today. So go to Apple iTunes, go to Spotify, go to TuneIn, wherever you get your podcasts, or watch it right here on the John Flynn channel. He's got it right there. So
and also on it's on my channel as well. So yeah, but I can. But also, I will promise you guys, we are not going away easy. You're not getting rid of us easily for the next several nights because we have a jam-packed schedule ahead of you the next seven nights. So so let's talk about it, Tim.
Yeah, we have our postseason Super Bowl predictions coming up on Thursday night, September 3rd. Same time channels. We have that. We'll be choosing who we think will be in the playoffs, who will be the top seeds, and who will win the big game over at SoFi Stadium this coming February. And of course, the biggest night of the year, our season premiere, league
Mhm.
draft night. Our league draft begins at 8:30 Eastern. No, 9:30
9:30.
Eastern, 8:30 Central. So we will be going on the air 15 minutes before. And if that's not enough, tomorrow night is the return of the Pain and Game Pick'ems, which of course
Mhm.
will be me, and of course Alex and Lucas, and whichever one of those crazy guys wants to jump on board. We'll be doing our preseason and or our postseason and Super Bowl predictions there.
Oh yeah.
Then you just had it up there, week one.
Yep.
Well, week one will be our special Fantasy Football Fever Pain and Gang crossover show, the first of two this season, because we
Yep.
will have another one. We'll have another one coming up in week 12. That'll be further down the line.
Right.
But we'll have Tuesday, September 8th, week one. Since the season is going to be starting Wednesday, we're combining our resources for Tuesday, September 8th. Same usual time. So, how can
Yeah.
you not be excited at this time right now?
Oh yeah.
It
And
is
also, yeah,
September.
regarding Thursday. If you guys need last minute fantasy advice, Thursday is
Yes.
your absolute last
Yes.
chance to be here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Drop your questions. We'll see if we can we'll
Yeah.
answer them the best we can. So
Yeah. Thursday's your last opportunity to do so because we won't be here on Friday.
And then you're going to see the drama unfold on Saturday.
Yep.
let's just say this is a draft week. They have Shark Week. Hey, we got draft week.
Oh, yeah.
Draft week.
So this is it. So
And now I say, Brett Favre days till draft night.
4 days till draft night, 8
Yeah.
days till the season begins.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna go ahead and close up shop for tonight. But we'll be back in less than 48 hours from now. Back Thursday night, with the postseason and the Super Bowl predictions and all that. So it's a great week. I hope y'all will be with us. So until Thursday night, that of course is John Flynn. This of course is John Natale, and of course I'm Tim McClellan. Have a great day or so. We'll be back Thursday night. If you're making mock drafts, good luck to that. If you're making your official drafts, the best of luck to you guys. See you back here Thursday night. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. Take care, everybody.